You're missing the crown on your head. I don't mean no disrespect, but why you worried about all these peasants? You are the king, my protector. I need you to rule me.
We are back with the Writings on the Wall radio show. All right. What we got?
Apart for this past, 6 weeks, with sex scandals, real ones, exaggerated ones, and invented ones. But while we're focused on our groins, the world, you might not have noticed, is getting more dangerous very fast. So fast that last week showed us that there's now a new axis of evil, a fast-forming alliance between countries that don't believe in democracy, and they're aiming themselves, this alliance, at countries like ours that do. Just last week were 3 very significant meetings that should scare us. The first of them, a meeting between the Russian and Chinese foreign ministers, where both attacked the United States, which Russian President Vladimir Putin then announced in a national broadcast as racist and genocidal. And this is Russia, which murders democracy activists, getting closer to China, a dictatorship which bans democracy completely. And both of them telling the West, your day is done. The second meeting between China, again, and Islamic fascist Iran, promising economic cooperation so Iran can survive the economic sanctions put on the West to stop it building an atomic bomb. Again, the same message. Democracies in the West, like us, we can't tell these dangerous autocracies what to do. And the third meeting between Russian military bosses and the new military dictators of Myanmar, who at that very same time were shooting dead hundreds of democracy protesters in Myanmar, even children being killed, a 13-year-old boy. What a difference here. We had our top general last week condemning Myanmar's military for murdering civilians, but Russia's deputy defense minister last week, he got a medal from the Myanmar army's chief for supporting these same bloody dictators. This is the world we're now in. Dictatorships, terror regimes, autocracies, all coming together now very fast to resist the democratic West that is getting weaker. The shape of the next worldwide conflict is taking place in front of your eyes.
Well, all praises to the Most High. The West is getting weaker. Let's go to the book of Hosea real quick. Just shooting up from the hip. Why not?
The book of Hosea, chapter 11 and verse 10.
Because it talked about the West, right? All right, read what you got.
They shall walk after the Lord. He shall roar like the lion. When he shall roar, then the children shall tremble from the west.
Right. So as the Western world gets weaker, what's happening retrospect on the retrospect? The Israelites are rising up. Right. It says in these last days, what are we seeing? We're seeing the nations, like it says in Habakkuk, they're going to start turning against America, right? And they're going to start coming together to fight against America. But understand that the children of Israel over here and the Most High is igniting the spirit. The teachings are increasing right now. You see the word going out like never before. Read on.
They shall tremble as a bird out of Egypt, and as a dove out of the land of Assyria. And I will place them in their houses, saith the Lord.
Right. This ain't nothing but those birthing pains. Let's go to Jeremiah 30 real quick. Going into those birthing pains. So as you see what's that? America weakening, the Western world getting weaker and weaker. That's just what? That's the Israel getting ready to be delivered from captivity. That's all that is right there. Give me that in verse 6. Jeremiah 30 and 6.
Jeremiah chapter 30 and verse 6.
Come on.
Ask ye now, and see whether a man doth travail with child.
Come on.
Wherefore do I see every man with his hands on his loins, as a woman in travail, and all faces are turned into paleness.
Mm-hmm.
Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it.
He should be saved out of it. He should be saved out of that thing. And officers, y'all go at any time. What's that? Give me the book of Nahum real quick. I want you to give me the 3rd chapter. And I want, tell you what, we'll start at 5 and I'm going to jump up.
The book of Nahum, chapter 3, verse 5. Behold, I am against thee, saith the Lord of hosts, and I will discover thy skirts upon thy face, and I will show the nations thy nakedness, and the kingdom thy shame.
Right. The nations, the people like China, Russia, Iran, all of these nations that have something against who? America. All right, the Western world. God says because of what they did to the children of Israel, the Most High God is going to reveal them for who they are. Thy nakedness, thy shame is going to be revealed. Right. Read on.
And I will cast abominable filth upon thee, and make thee vile, and will set thee as a gazing stock.
A gazing stock for everybody to see. Right. Verse 10.
Verse 10. Yet was she carried away, she went into captivity. Her young children also were dashed in pieces at the top of all the streets.
What? Because America was responsible for doing that to the children of Israel, right? They would dash our heads against stones. They would feed us to alligators. They would rip the infants out of the mother's womb. Mm-hmm. They would do all those things to the children of Israel. Read.
And they cast lots for her honorable men. And all her great men were bound in chains.
Right. All the great men were bound in chains here in America. Right. That's why we're seeing all these plagues come. And the Western world is getting weaker and weaker. And the Israelites are rising up because of what's about to take place on the earth. Right. Real quick, verse 1. And the officer, y'all can go at it. Mm-hmm.
The book of Nahum, chapter 3, verse 1.
Come on.
Woe to the bloody city. It is full of lies and robbery. The prey departeth not.
Right. It says, woe to the bloody city. So destruction is coming back to the bloody city. It was funny. The commentator, he talked about Russia, but they always like to play victim. America always try to make it appear like they're pure, like they are righteous. No. America, like the Most High said in verse 5, he's gonna reveal the skirt for who they really are.
Right. Cap, you hit it dead on the point. The Bible talks about America putting on this show as if they're so great, so pure, so holy, and it's going to be brought down. Give me that in Revelation chapter 18, verse 2. Revelation chapter 18, verse 2. God talks about America, which is called Babylon the Great. Read that.
The book of Revelation, chapter 18, verse 2.
Read.
And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the Great is falling.
Understand, they're describing it as great because America is seen as a great place. Everybody want to come here. Seems like this is where you can make $1 million and flip your life over compared to these third world countries. Read.
Babylon the Great is falling, has become the habitation of devils, and the hole of every foul spirit, and a cage of every unclean and hateful bird.
So it's telling you that this place that they thought couldn't fall have fallen. That's why it sounds so shocking to them as they're screaming this. Read verse 4.
Verse 4. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, Come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins.
So this is the message that we're giving you. Even though we know that Babylon has a promised end, God is telling us to come out of Babylon. It don't mean get in a boat or a plane and fly away. It's telling us to come out of the ways of Babylon. All of the things that this country pushes that goes against the Bible, we have to come out of that because this country is going to go. Last scripture, read that in verse 8, verse 8.
Revelation chapter 18, verse 8. Therefore shall her plagues come in one day.
Like Cap just brought out, their plagues going to come in, all these plagues, they're going to come in one day. Read.
Death and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire.
That's
right.
them nuclear missiles that all these countries are going to be sending over here. So the Bible tells us what's going to happen. You have to be wise enough to make the right decision and turn to God's laws.
All praises. Let me get a precept real quick. Give me Isaiah chapter 47. As we going over about Babylon, let's see what the scripture, what Isaiah prophesied about Babylon. We definitely.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 47, verse 1. Come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon.
So that's showing you Babylon is falling down, getting to its lowest estate. It says, O virgin daughter of Babylon. Quickly, let me get Psalm chapter 137 and 7, I believe. The one that say, to show you who is he talking about, daughters of Babylon. That's not talking about the Chaldeans, and we're about to prove that real quick.
The book of Psalm, chapter 137 and verse 8.
Bring it out.
O daughters of Babylon, who art to be destroyed. Happy shall he be that rewardeth thee as thou hast served us.
No, start at verse 7 so we know who is he talking about.
The book of Psalm, chapter 137 and verse 7. Remember, O Lord, the children of Edom.
The children of who?
Of Edom.
Edom, the so-called white man.
That's
right.
In the day of Jerusalem, who said, race it, even to the foundation thereof.
Saying, destroy Jerusalem, destroy the Israelites. Read.
O daughter of Babylon.
You see what the Bible call them? Daughters of Babylon. Now go back to Isaiah.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 47 and verse 1. Come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon.
Virgin daughter of Babylon. Why they call them virgin? Because they playing a role as if they are very delicate.
Right.
You know, pretend to be a good person, but really we all know that they are the devil the Bible speak of.
That's right.
Sit on the ground. There is no throne, O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate.
Yeah, that's his gun. All the other nations are standing against you now. Your secret parts has been revealed. All right, read.
Take the millstones and grind meal. Uncover thy locks. Make bare the leg. Uncover the thigh. Pass over the rivers.
Read.
Thy nakedness shall be uncovered. Yea, thy shame shall be seen. I will take vengeance, and I will not meet thee as a man.
God says, Christ says he will not meet Esau as a man.
Right.
When they're going down. All right, that's all I got.
All praise. And another thing, this just the beginning. What you see right now, what's going on in the news, the other nations going against the United States, guess what? This is just the beginning. But now, let's see what the Most High God got in store for them that go against the children of Israel. Give me Zechariah 14 and 12. Let's see that. Because they getting what? They getting nuclear warfare. This is the beginning of nuclear warfare. Let's see what the Most High God got in place for them.
Zechariah chapter 14, verse 12. And this shall be the plague wherewith the Lord will smite all the people that have fought against Jerusalem.
Fought against God people, God chosen people, which of you so-called blacks and Hispanics and Native American are the Israelites according to this Bible. And who went against us mostly? The so-called white man, Esau, Adumium. Read.
Their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet.
What can take your flesh off while you stand upon your feet? Your body not going nowhere, but your flesh can come off of your bones. Nuclear warfare. This coming to what? The United States of America.
That's right.
Read.
And their eyes shall consume away in their holes.
You see that? Your eyes shall consume, shall melt. Shall melt. So which side you going to be on? Right. Israel, it's time for you to wake up and choose a side. The Most High God is not playing. He's not playing. So wake up. Read.
And their tongue shall consume away in their mouth.
Look at that. This gonna be what? The end of the United States of America. Your tongue shall melt in your mouth. Read.
And it shall come to pass in that day that a great tumult from the Lord shall be among them, and they shall lay hold every one on the hand of his neighbor.
You see that?
And his hand shall rise up against the hand of his neighbor.
So guess what? It's time for you to wake up if you don't want to get caught with no nuclear war.
Hey, real quick, before we end, give me 2 Ezra 14 and 17, going back to the clip that we watched, going into the shape of the next worldwide conflict against the Western world, which is America. It said that the Western world is getting weaker, and these other nations are rising up. Read that, verse 17.
2 Ezra chapter 14, verse 17.
Come on.
For look how much the world shall be weaker through age, so much the more shall evils increase upon them that dwell therein.
Right. So as we see these world superpower is getting weaker and weaker. And by that, the world is getting weaker. Let's also go to Revelation. What was that? I think it's 17. I think it's 17. I may be wrong. I think I am wrong, actually. Go to 11. Revelation chapter 11, verse 18. The reason why the earth's getting weaker because it was given to the hands of the wicked. All right, they're destroying it every day.
That's right.
Certain places, for example, you have South America, who's rich in certain resources, but America goes and robs it, enslaves the people, destroys livestock, agriculture, does all of that. He goes from land to land to land doing this, and what's happening to the earth is starting to decline. That's what's happening. All right, it gets older, it gets weaker through age because of look who's inhabiting that thing. All right, read what you got.
The book of Revelation, chapter 11 and verse 18. And the nations were angry, and thy wrath is come, and the time of the dead.
Right, the nations are angry. Everybody's sick of America. Everybody's sick and tired of what America's been doing for the last, 400 plus years. All right, read.
That they should be judged, and that thou shouldest.
I can't say 400 plus years. They were founded as a nation in 1776. So I'll say for the last 200-300 years, right? Read.
That they should be judged, and that thou shouldest give a reward unto thy servants the prophets, and to the saints and them that fear thy name.
So God is saying it's going to come a time where the nations are going to be angry, and his wrath is going to be ignited through these nations. And what are we witnessing? Bible prophecy. We just watched the clip. We're going to go to another article, but that's what we're seeing. We're seeing that the spirit that the Most High God is sending in the earth for these nations to get activated to turn on the beast, that great horde that ought to be destroyed. Read.
Small and great, and shouldest destroy them which destroy the earth.
You see that? God's saying he's going to use the nations to destroy those, United States of America, who has been destroying the earth ever since they became a nation. Okay? Now, I don't know where I was going to go next, but go to the next article, and maybe something will come to my mind.
Bring it out.
I forgot totally. All right. Hey, we got 2 minutes. Read that, and we'll make it quick.
This is Newsweeks.com. China cannot be stopped by anyone.
You crazy. You sleep. Read.
Beijing defense official warns U.S.
Right. So everybody can see, if this thing were to go on, if the Most High God saw fit for China to be next, they would. They would, because they're the next superpower rising up. But we all know, we covered that in one of our last classes. No, Esau's the end of the world, and Jacob we got next.
That's right.
All right, so it's been another Writings on the Wall. We are Israel United in Christ. We thank you all for your time. To my right,
Officer Obadiah.
And I'm Officer David.
Officer Sampson.
Officer Elijah, your place for end time news.
wait a minute. That's the remix right there. That's the remix. Yeah, that's some remix. All right, with that, we say shalom. Shalom.
We used to scream black power while heroin was pushed. But at the end of the day, nothing's in vain. IUIC, has been given a vision. The tents of Judah has risen. Many has attempted the mission. Minor murmuring, omitting, and missing the mark. Just reading that he had the flame of fire in his eyes gave us the spark. We on Paul's mission. We out on the road, purple and gold. From Mexico, Cuba, Haiti, Ghana, Sierra Leone. 144,000 boots banging, concrete crackling. These are our men repented at heart. The scriptures is proof. IUIC, we deliver the truth.